My name is Scott Troxel. I am an indie walls artist who specializes in mixed media, predominantly in the form of wood wall sculpture. In terms of my studio practice, I tend to do things a little bit differently than, say, somebody who's a painter. Because I'm using different types of materials, a lot of times they're large and heavy and expensive. I try to come up with a blueprint beforehand. A lot of times I work in graphic design software like Illustrator or Photoshop. It allows me to kind of run through different palette scenarios, different woods. I can Photoshop in different wood grains and things like that to kind of get an idea of what a piece is going to be. Once I'm in the studio, sometimes the pieces do change, but this just gives me a general guideline of composition and balance, and generally just gives me a really good idea of where I'm going with a piece. The materials that I used for Athena was a combination of MDF, maple, and pigmented lacquer. I use MDF a lot because it provides a very flat, modern surface that's free of imperfections. So when you want a really clean, kind of high-end modern look, MDF is usually the call. The maple I selected because I knew that we were going to be using kind of a driftwood style stain on that wood. So maple just takes a stain very well, and the color of the wood, it was perfect for that kind of driftwood look. The color palette that was selected was kind of like a whitewashed, muted color palette. So the challenge with that piece was to incorporate wood into it without the wood overpowering the color palette. The piece is very complicated. It has a complicated composition to it, but at the same time, because the color palette is so refined, it doesn't feel busy or overstated. So I was really trying to develop that piece because I knew it was going to be in a common area in a building, so that it at once was able to provide enjoyment for people that were walking by and interacting with it, but also at the same time, not something that would be obnoxious or overly powerful in the room.